Hello and welcome to UFL's second Urban Future Forum. We are so excited to have you here. We have an amazing day of learning for you, as well as a game of bingo. So there are not many events in this ecosystem where you get both. So you're really in for a treat today. My name is Jeannette Williams. I'm the COO of the Urban Future Lab at NYU Tandon School of Engineering. The Urban Future Lab is actually one of 4 future labs that sits within NYU Tandon, all with the goal of supporting entrepreneurship and being the bridge between the amazing researchers and faculty that we have at Tandon and the external startup ecosystem. So at the Urban Future Lab, we're celebrating our 16th year of supporting startups with advanced energy, energy security, resilience, and urban sustainability solutions. So all of the buzzwords, but they are all relevant for today. We have 4 programs where we support our startups. The Carbon to Value initiative going into its 5th year, which will have a focus on deployment, so really applicable for all the work we're doing here today. The Offshore Wind Innovation Hub in year 3. Our Innovate UK Global Incubator program going into year 6 with the UK government. And then, of course, our Acre Incubator, our flagship program, which started 16 years ago, and which is sector agnostic, where we help startups across with all different kinds of solutions. Additionally, we're also excited to be part of the newly announced BATWorks Consortium down in Brooklyn Navy Yard and the Climate Innovation Hub there. So in that work, which is led by Lacey and CIC, we'll be bringing climate solutions to life and helping to build a workforce for the green economy here in New York City. So my role at the Urban Future Lab supports the operations of all programs through your typical ops tasks, but I also have the pleasure of identifying and pursuing special projects and events such as this, which really help to advance the mission of UFL and the work of our startups. So this Urban Future Forum really is born out of some work that we've started since 2020. In identifying and exploring the role that incubators and accelerators can play in a just transition and making sure that the energy transition really benefits the communities where the innovation is sited and communities affected by climate change. So through our support, we do this through our support of underrepresented founders, of course, providing education and resources to our portfolio companies, and as an ecosystem convener. So in this role that we're playing today as host for all of you, and all of you stakeholders across this ecosystem. So many of you, or I think all of you, should have gotten some stars to put on your name badges today. You can see there are really a wide array of people in the room today who are interested in this topic of bridging the gap between innovation, implementation, and community engagement. So we strongly recommend and encourage you to speak with somebody else who is in a different area of this ecosystem, playing a different role and making those connections that really help make all of this work possible. So this Urban Future Forum and our first Urban Future Forum last year are made possible with the help of a grant from the Wells Fargo Innovation Incubator, IN2. It's an initiative co-founded and co-administered by the U.S. Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Laboratory and, of course, Wells Fargo. So we hosted our first Urban Future Forum last year, and we're grateful to IN2 for their support in hosting a second Urban Future Forum this year with really a focus on workshops that are hands-on, interactive, and really giving folks here in the room today the skills to actually partner with communities, work with workforce organizations, build a capital stack that has communities in mind, and create criteria to assess these projects with communities in mind as well. So we are having this event in a moment. We can call it that. As we all know from reading the news, about $3.7 billion in federal funding for clean energy projects was just canceled this week. There's a bill making its way through the Senate now, perhaps you've heard of it, that might cut some tax credits for renewable development. And of course, there are some tariffs out there as well, the percentage of which changes a little bit. We'll see where they land. So, you know, there are some challenges, there are some headwinds, but I think we should all be encouraged by the fact that we are all here. We all continue the work, and we are committed to the work. So there are some positive developments, as I'm sure we all know from our corners of the world, locally, nationally, globally. So as I said, just in our backyard, the stop work order on Empire Wind 1 was lifted. That is a win. Nationally, California approved 31 transmission projects to the tune of $4.8 billion in investment. And then globally, the European Union is on track to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 54% by 2030, above its 1990 levels. So there are positive things happening, and I also encourage you guys as you're networking today to share those positives. In addition to, of course, being realistic about the challenges, let's also talk about what's working, how it's working, and see if we can replicate that in some way. So the words may change sometimes, but like I said, the work continues. I think one thing that is true as well of this present moment is that you no longer need just a good idea in the renewable energy or advanced energy space. You need to be able to execute. And you need to have a team and the ecosystem that helps you do that. So I do just want to take a quick moment to shout out the Urban Future Lab team that has made this day possible. This idea and this day wouldn't be possible without them. So really, Erin, Christelle, Meg, they wouldn't be possible without you guys at all. And then, of course, our larger team helping with check-in, helping with the workshops. I hope you all get a chance to meet them today. But as I said, a good idea is no longer enough. You need to have the partnerships and collaboration to make the execution possible, including community involvement, which we hope to show you today can be an accelerant rather than a hindrance, and hope to give you the tools to realize that in your work as well. So we'll be using the word community throughout the day quite a bit, but we do want to highlight that this word, it doesn't really represent a monolith. Different organizations with different goals and different viewpoints are sort of all gathered under that community umbrella. And they also have different strategies on how we are decarbonizing, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, ensuring the benefits of implementing new technologies reach communities as well. So the word community, like so many other terms in our ecosystem, is a bit of a shorthand, but it does include workforce development organizations, advocacy groups, for example, and we hope to bring a little bit more specificity to that throughout the speaking portions of today, the plenary sessions, and also our workshops. And we have an amazing lineup of folks to share their expertise and help you navigate both that shorthand word and this present moment and engage with communities to get projects out there in the world, a task that's more critical than ever. So at UFL, we work with early stage companies across many sectors, so the content is really key for them to prepare them for the road ahead. We are also uniquely positioned within a university, specifically NYU Tandon School of Engineering, to connect entrepreneurs with researchers to advance their innovations with talent from students and graduates. And I would like to introduce Linda Ning Boyle, our Vice President of Research at NYU, to talk a little bit more about the NYU innovation landscape and innovation history.